Everybody gets to be the king in my case, so.
Initially I submitted way back in 20 years ago. I submitted a paper. I got 2 very good reviews. Very good reviews. Guess what? The editor didn't like it. No. On the other hand, I got another paper, 2 bad reviews. The editor said it was good. So it can happen both ways, Over the years, it all evens out if you do it properly. Some days you're lucky, some days you're not. But coming back to his point, if you get reviews on a paper, it behooves you to answer each one carefully. If you got nine comments, answer all 9. I'm going to answer 7. I'm going to ignore the other 2. Make at least an effort to answer all 9. And then leave it to the editor's judgment, whether he wants to accept it or send it out for review again. But don't, this is not important. Even if it's a trivial comment, make it a point to answer it very carefully.
And politely.
And of course, politely.
I mean, it goes both ways, right? The reviewers can say, should be appropriate reviews and constructive criticism, and your replies should be courteous. And you can, if you don't agree with the reviewer, then you can back it up. Like I do not want to do this change, and this is my logic for it, but not say the reviewer has no idea what they're talking about. I don't know where this more, on and on. It doesn't help anybody. It just annoys the editor.
That's why that's why the reviewers are anonymous. There's magic to that. Otherwise, you would have so much whatever you can call it.
I have to say though, in the area that I work in, that. And I've been doing this for a really long time, and I'm really towards the end of trying to get out of doing this, but I rarely see any personal attacks, and I rarely see anyone respond to a review with anything less than humble and polite rebuttal. And it's probably because of the area that I work in, and there are other areas where people, really want to fight about things, but in my area, I'm very pleased to say that I don't see much fist fighting.
You get a negative review, take 3-4 days off, then come back and look at it again. How is that?
Yeah.
Or go and kick the tree or kick a can or something like that. Don't give it in writing that, sit on it for 3-4 days, do something nice, and then look at it one more time.
The reviewers are trying to tell you something.
Yes.
99% of the time, they're trying to tell you something. They've seen it from a different perspective. They're trying to tell you something that might be helpful to you.
Yeah, and many a time your article is actually improved by the reviewers. You wrote something, and you missed something, and the reviewers were nice enough to point it out to you, and if the editor permits it, he'll let you submit it to a sane journal. Or if he rejects it, well, you've taken the time, you got the comments, and just send it to another journal. No harm in doing that.
There are reviewers' comments on 2 levels, right? There's the substantial, knowledge-based comments, and then there are on things that you can fix before you even get to that. And what I mean by that is your manuscript shouldn't be sloppy with typos and grammatical errors. If you do have, and both for non-native English speakers and non-native English speakers, if you do have a problem composing sentences, if your advisor does not step in and help you, you should find somebody that does. Because I've, also as an associate editor and as a reviewer, I've written several times, the English, it's so hard to understand because of the English. You can't get through it because of the English. And as much as you may hate it, most of our journals are not in Russian. English is the common kind of publication language, and you have to deal with it. And reviewers, if they have to fight through understanding what the person wants to say, they give up. And they're not going to rewrite the article or the manuscript for the person, and they're going to say, I can't, you got to deal with that. And so there are friends, advisors different people can help with that aspect. And it isn't, you have to get it as polished as you can to the reviewers. So what they're focusing on is the topic and the knowledge and not the other stuff. And make sure that figure 1 is indeed figure 1 and not figure 5 and all those things that are trivial and yet display a lack of professionalism if they're not done right. Adhere to the publication requirements of font size or numbering or whatever it may be. Again, it's relatively, it's big if it's not followed correctly.
She's raised a very good point, is that try to get the best English you can. If you don't know it yourself, ask somebody. Don't feel shy. Maybe later on you'll get better. But if a manuscript is received with poor English, chances are very low. So give yourself the best shot you can. Get the best English. Get all corrections, font, figures, etc., etc., and then cross your fingers. How's that?
We're out of time. Close out.
Don't give up and persevere and see this through, because you can do it. I mean, you started on this journey of graduate school, so you can finish this journey, and continue. So it may build up, your career may continue from this point, and obviously then you need it for your career. But even if you don't, then you're like, this is a tangible product of all those years and all those hours and all that effort, and people will benefit from knowing your results. So go out and publish them.
And good luck.
Good luck. Thank you very much. Thank you.